Okay, we promised we'd show a demonstration on how we cut the insulation. First of all, we set up this nice table here. This is solid wood. It could be plywood or anything, but this is a solid piece of wood. You don't see them that wide anymore. But it's a perfect width for the 15.5-inch, R15 insulation. So we put it up, we got the measurement, which is 22.5 inches. We make it about 1 inch longer. The other secret is sharp blades. You gotta keep these sharp. You also want to get high quality ones because they stay sharper for longer. You pay for what you get, to believe me. You don't want to get cheap when it comes to stuff like this. So we got the measurement. We'll pull the sheet up, or the roll face, or the bat up on the table, face up, paper up. And we get the measurement. It could be anywhere on the board where we can cut. It's 22.5. We set it up there. We want to square, make the straight edges square, perpendicular off this edge as possible. And I usually use the lettering here and whatnot to get it square. And then you press down all the way as hard as you can. You smash it down, and you simply take the knife. You don't try to go in an angle or anything. You go in straight. It might be off the guide, but the important thing is to cut the face first, the paper. And sometimes you can cut it all at once when the knife's nice and sharp. Boom. That couldn't quite get it, so you keep the straight edge there and you make another score. And boom, you got it. There it is. And then another important thing to do is, Mary's taping it on, as I mentioned in the video. But you're going to prep the sheet. Make sure these flanges, we want them over the studs. That's an important thing. Just go over the face of the studs. A lot of people will tuck them in and staple it, but that's not the way to do it. You want to go over the studs and whatever product you're using, in our case cement board, and it goes over that as well. That way you get a good seal. We even loosen around the top here, get the fiberglass off the paper just a little bit, because this overlaps onto the top sill plate and also the bottom sill plate. That's why we make it 1 inch longer. And then the inch, the insulation will fit into the joist area, so we could show that as well. Doesn't matter which way you go, there's no up and down. So we make sure that the insulation, you never want it to pack anywhere. You want it to stay fluffy. And this is exactly 14.5 inches. This is 15 inches, so it stays in there. And all these are exactly 14.5 inches. We did that on purpose for for just this, instance. So make sure you put it in there, make sure it stays fluffy, make sure it gets entirely on the bottom sill. Tuck it in under the top sill. Make sure the sides are, gently tuck it in, and then I'm even going to go inside and make sure that it's all evenly. You don't want it like packed in one area and loose in another, because that actually reduces the R value. So in order to maintain the R15, you want to do it just like that. And then Mary's been coming along and taping it, just tacking it with duct tape. So it stays in place until we get the cement board on. When you get the cement board on, like over there, it'll hold the insulation for forever, as long as the cement board, and it'll stay dry. And the most important thing is we're insulating underneath of the entire mobile home, so that can be basically a crawl space, because we're going to have a lot of utilities under there, water pipes, heating vents and things like that. But that's the trick. That's the way you're supposed to really take your time and do it right, and not rush it, and just make sure it's all perfect like we've been doing. So we'll call it an end, and that's how we're doing it. Maybe we'll show you how it's putting a cement board is kind of, Mary and I kind of take one end at a time and then just screw it on. It's actually pretty difficult, but we've been managing it. We've been doing a perfect job. I'm real happy with it. So we just wanted to show you the insulation. The putting on the perma board is, we can't, like I said, we can't record that because we both got to have our hands on it. So with that, we thank you for watching this demonstration, and I hope you learned a little bit about insulation and whatnot, because the directions are not that clear about, you know, making sure. A lot of people will sometimes pack the fiberglass, and you can't do that. It reduces the R value. You want to keep everything fluffy, just like this. So, thank you for watching.